Member for Newmarket Aurora.
The Prime Minister and his cabinet took the time to prepare a spending plan, but they did not make the time to prepare a plan to pay for it. Last week, I asked a simple question. With economic storm clouds moving in, how is it possible not to produce a budget this spring? Since then, this government presented the main estimates to Parliament to request nearly $500 billion, $486 billion to fund the government until next March. But they have not presented a budget, which is the very document that shows how it intends to pay for all of this spending. How irresponsible is that? Imagine walking into a bank for a mortgage, and you walk in with all your expenses, your car payments, your groceries, your student debt, but you refuse to provide evidence of your income. Any lender would say, come back when you have evidence of your income. As a finance professional of 14 years, I say the same to this Liberal government. Come back when you have a plan on how you're going to pay for all of this spending. They say that economic conditions may change over the summer. Yes, there is an uncertain world. Yes, there are summits. Yes, there are shifting forecasts. That is exactly why we need a budget. When income is lost, you budget. When costs rise, you budget. When you want to change your circumstances, you budget. GDP is struggling. Our productivity is down. Our purchasing power is crumbling. Unemployment rate is rising. These are the fingerprints of 10 years of failed Liberal policies. If the Prime Minister and his Finance Minister want to be taken seriously as stewards of the economy, they need to do what every family, every business, and every government must do: put forward a budget. It is my sincere hope that we can work together to provide relief to Canadian families and businesses, and that we can work together to steer Canada in the right direction. But this government needs to provide the fundamental information for every parliamentarian to make an informed decision on what is best for Canadians. On matters of finance, my trust is built on numbers, on accountability, on a budget. So I ask again, with economic storm clouds moving in, how is it possible not to produce a budget this spring?
The Secretary of State for the Canada Revenue Agency and for Financial Institutions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the member opposite. And I want to congratulate the member from Newmarket Aurora. Being in this House is a privilege. Enjoy every day. I've been privileged to be here since 2015, 4 elections. I know the excitement of being here. I know it's a big, big machine that's going on here in Ottawa, but I congratulate you for your win and thank you for your question today. This is the first time I've risen in the House, Mr. Speaker, and I certainly want to thank the wonderful riding, the constituents of St. John Kennebecasis for returning me for the 4th time. I certainly want to thank my campaign manager, Kevin Collins, and I want to thank the wonderful staff, the wonderful team that I have in St. John with Jeanette McLaughlin and Don Darling, making sure things are very well taken care of on the home front. So, Mr. Speaker, let me say this, and just let me list off some facts. Inflation is down from 8.1% in June of 2022 to 1.7% now. Now, certainly the Conservatives were with this every step up that it was our fault, but yet, now that it's down to below the Bank of Canada's target rate, I guess we don't get any credit for that. Canada right now has an unemployment rate, Mr. Speaker, of 6.9%. Labor force participation at 65.3%, well above the U.S. number of 62.5%. Mr. Speaker, we have a AAA credit rating. We have the lowest debt and deficit in the G7, and the list goes on and on and on. And Mr. Speaker, sometimes I wonder why the Conservatives hold themselves as their major economic stewards of our economy. This was a government prior to us that ran 9 straight deficits, basically made a mess of our economy through regressive policies. And as Liberals, Mr. Speaker, we believe in growing a strong economy. We believe investing in Canadians. We believe as Liberals that government has a role to play in people's lives, Mr. Speaker. Whether that's the Canada Child Benefit that the Conservatives voted against, whether it's child care that the Conservatives voted against, whether it's dental care that the Conservatives voted against, whether it's wonderful housing programs and wonderful housing initiatives, Mr. Speaker, the Co-Investment Fund, the Rapid Housing Initiative, the Housing Accelerator Fund. The Conservatives voted against each and every one of those initiatives that have been proven to help Canada. So, Mr. Speaker, we will do the right things to build our economy, to rebuild our economy, and make our economy the greatest economy in the G7. Thank you.
Honourable member for Newmarket Aurora.
So the bottom line is there is no plan to pay for the $486 billion in spending that they have asked Parliament to authorize.
Same.
It is not a plan to have no plan. If there was a plan, they would have presented it. Our GDP is struggling. Our productivity is down. Our purchasing power is crumbling. Unemployment rate is rising. Tariffs are hurting our industries. The purpose of a budget is to bring order to uncertainty. But this government has done the opposite. By refusing to present a budget this spring, they have deepened the volatility in an already fragile economy. Fiscal credibility is earned by showing the numbers, respecting the process that has defined Canada for more than half a century.
The Honourable Secretary of State.
Speaker, I think Canadians have voiced very clearly who they think should be running our economy and who should lead our economy. Mr. Speaker, you wouldn't, listening to the member opposite, you wouldn't think that we just had an election on April 28th and a throne speech last week. The budget will come in due time. Our Prime Minister is regarded, I would argue, as one of the top economic minds in Canada. And we do have a plan. And His Majesty said during the speech from the throne, quote, "In all of our actions, the government will be guided by a new fiscal discipline, spend less so Canadians can invest more. We will balance the government's operating budget over the next 3 years by cutting waste, capping the public service, ending duplication, and deploying technology to improve public sector productivity. We will deliver the details of our plan in the fall via a detailed, comprehensive, effective, and ambitious